Welcome to the Featured Anime Podcast. I'm your host, Jack.
And I'm Rick.
And today we are talking about And You Thought There's Never a Girl Online, which was a random choice for this week. But
yeah, it definitely... Oh, good.
I was going to say, but before all that...
No.
I know it's been a while.
It feels like forever.
You know what, sir? I mean, forever especially when you're hopping timelines and looping through everything, I mean, like I can understand that. Especially in the parallel worlds.
Well, at least you understand. We're good with that then.
All right. But before everything else, and speaking of which, we were actually talking about a little bit about my work life, Excel, and Rick gave kind of a brief synopsis on his viewpoints and his score for the episode he missed last week. If you want to catch a part of that wider conversation, patreon.com/featured anime podcast, $1 a month will get you access to that bonus content. And if you choose to, you don't want to buy into that, you don't want to listen to any extra content or anything like that, but you still feel like supporting us, we do have an affiliate link in the show notes for you, where you can click on it and buy this week's show, which is, again, And You Thought There Is Never a Girl Online. And if anything that you buy while you're on that affiliate link through Right Stuff Anime, we do get a little bit of a kickback, and it is very much appreciated. Or you can buy some of our own merch at shop.featuredanimepodcast.com. And now, onto the meat and potatoes. And You Thought There Is Never... Jeez, man. Okay, I'm sorry. That's such a mouthful. And You Thought There Is Never a Girl Online. Aired in April 2016, ran all the way through June 2016. Producer for it is Sotsu ATX, just to name a couple of them. Studio for it is Project Number 9. Source is a light novel. Genres for it are comedy, romance, ecchi, school, video game. And it's based off of a light novel, in case I skipped over that.
You might have.
And it's 12
you
episodes.
You might have, just this one time.
12 episodes only. So, tell me, sir, did you know that there were girls online that played games?
I knew there were female characters online.
Yeah. Well, this anime lays to rest the fallacy, the fake belief that there are no girls online. In fact, this one actually goes as far as to kind of prove that there are actually girls online.
What I will say is I personally believe that most of the female characters you see online, I'm not going to say most. I would say about 40% are dudes, because I know 3 people in my life who almost exclusively, when they play online, choose a female character because it's life on easy mode. I watched them go from in Skyrim. Wait, no, was it Skyrim?
No.
Skyrim's not multiplayer, so it wasn't Skyrim.
You watched him on online multiplayer.
Sorry,
right?
I watched him on a multiplayer, and he literally did this thing where he had a recording on his phone going, "I need help," in a woman's voice. Played that on the microphone, muted the microphone after that, and all of a sudden, like 8 other players like, "I can help. Oh my God, talk to me." And he cheesed the first 20 levels. Meanwhile, I'm over here playing the same game, grinding at level 5, going, why can't I do anything? He's got,
right.
He doesn't have legendary equipment or not like that, but I'm like, why?
Sir?
And he goes, it works every time.
You know why? Because you try to do it yourself, sir.
Oh no, I'd even try to guild. He got in the top guild with no issues. They kicked a person to put him in there. I was like, are you shitting me? No, it works. Now, conversely, I got 3 sisters. They play online, but they play exclusively as men.
Right.
Because they get harassed constantly whenever they try to do their own stuff. So, I mean, I see the points on both sides. It's just...
Cool. But, I mean, that's a long explanation for a simple, yes, actually, I did know that there were girls online. And
it was a long explanation, but I felt warranted.
Totally not warranted. Totally not warranted.
Well, warranted for the skepticism that there would be
No, not even close.
potential.
Intentional. Sorry though. That's why we care. But so to bring us back on track from what you were saying, which not, I mean, here's like how I can, try and tie this in, right? The main character, our main character, gets proposed to by Akko, who's our main female protagonist, and the main male protagonist is Hideki, or Russian, as his gamer tag is called. Anyways, he beforehand had proposed to another female Neko style character, kind of like a demi-human style.
Cat girl.
Yeah, cat girl. And cat girl tells him, "Oh, I'm actually a dude. I'm actually a guy,
middle-aged dude."
It breaks his perception of the world. He ends up being heartbroken, going through soloing it, and tries to join other guilds and things like that. And then, Akko is like, "No, I totally am in love with you," and everything like that. And so it's like kind of like his realization is like, "Oh snaps, there's actually, a girl on here, and I go to school with her, and holy smokes, there's other girls on here, and wait, we all go to the same school." And it just like kind of compounds, right? So it shatters his entire perception of it. But I feel like this anime takes a very, 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 very lighthearted approach to some very real world issues and problems that people do actually have.
100%.
So I feel like they tastefully did it right, and it's not like they're all problems. Like they hit on the hallmarks or trademarks of real life people, right? So you have people that will play the opposite gender of themselves online and try to envelop this whole persona. Then you have people that are pay to win, so to speak, which Kyo, she is a very solid example because she just dumps money. She has a job specifically, or a company or whatever, specifically to fund her online transactions. Like that's its primary purpose. Insanely enough,
it works.
It does.
It works wonderfully. I'm not gonna lie. Like I've been that pay to play player. Like
you are that pay to play. You are that pay
used to be. I don't play Pokemon anymore, but I used to be.
No, but I know you do that for a lot of other stuff. Irrelevant in the matter.
No, I was just saying, I could be convinced that a fool and his money is easily separated, and I play the fool often in games. So if I do see value there, then sure. And I've spent far too much.
Which is something that Kyo actually has, says. It's like, in terms of spending the money on it, it's like, this is costing me nothing. It's like, no, that totally costs you money. And then gives her very specific reasoning on it. And it's like, thus, it has costed me nothing. The value I get from this is astronomical. Meaning that all the money that I spent on this over here is completely, null and void.
Yeah. No, although one of the things I really liked on here was the fact that real money trading was looked down upon and technically against the rules. And somehow, some way, we found a way around it. And I want to say technically it was incorrect. However, I loved how they approached all the taboos of online gaming.
Yeah.
Don't meet someone in public. Like the group meeting was a bit odd. And the fact the ratio's got to be all wrong. Has to be. I thought it was quite interesting that our main character tried to show the reality versus online gaming to I forget her name, Akko, yes, and fails miserably. What did they actually accomplish when they created that the group?
Right. So in the anime, Kyo, who is the guild master for their online game, created a club specifically for the reason to help draw Akko out and force her to interact. And while it was like unorthodox, right? I feel like they ultimately did accomplish that. The reason why I say this is because before Akko would almost never go to school, and that was kind of the problem. And she enveloped her life solely in the game, which is a problem for a lot of people. Like it is a very real world issue where they have difficulty distinguishing between fantasy and reality. And that was Akko's primary issue, where she had difficulty distinguishing between fantasy and reality. The difference is that one of the things that really kind of drew her more to the reality side of things was Rushian, or Hideki, was the main driving force, the primary reason why she actually started going back to school, why she was going to see people and started showing up more, is because he was there. And so I feel like while they didn't plainly state it in the anime, them creating the gaming group room for them, or club, to be there and physically forced more social interaction upon her, where they were able to right then and there and plainly see everything that's going on and be able to put her in situations where she couldn't just run away, hide, and be able to actually talk to her and have them be able to convey the feelings and emotion directly to her in person, giving her that constant interaction between everyone versus online. And this is a problem that I've always told my wife and everyone else. It's like, if we're having an issue, if you're having a problem or something like that, or if you're upset about something, don't text it, don't email it, nothing. Pick up the phone, call, come over, see me, something like that, because there is so much that gets lost in translation over text versus being able to hear, right? And you,
100%.
if you have a heightened emotion, or if you have a particular type of emotion, you will feed that emotion into whatever it is you're reading. And that is something that is a struggle even for me. Like if I'm heightened or something like that, and someone just sends a simple email to me or a text message to me, I'll read whatever the emotion is I'm feeling at that time into it. And I'll have to take a deep breath, try to recenter myself and not do it. It allows the misperceived perception of someone being angry, upset, sad, happy, whatever, feeling a very particular type of emotion when they're not.
Makes perfect sense. Makes 100% perfect sense. And I've had arguments that I didn't realize I was in, because the text in my mind didn't read that way. And actually, Key and Peele did a really good job of that, where they're texting back and forth, and all of a sudden, like, one person's fighting and the other person's, oh yeah, whatever, we're good. Whatever, we're good. Oh hell no! Like, it's hilarious, and it is, the reason it's so funny, in my opinion, is it reflects life to an absurd degree. So it makes it a little bit of sense. Now, my only confusion is Akko was not able to differentiate between the game and real life. However, she was still all over our main character for no real reason other than she liked the in-game character. And what ends up happening is he doesn't reciprocate feelings immediately. And then when he does, he's got a very difficult time trying to get her to see him, so to speak. And she's like, well, we're already married and I already love you with my whole heart. And he's like, but I love you too. And she goes, oh, thank you very much. Now let's go play the game. And it just like whoosh right over her head. It took me a minute, because I was trying to rationalize. I was trying to put myself in this situation.
Right.
And I was like, maybe she's not dense. She's just avoiding conflict. Like, she wants to keep it on the game. But then all the other actions that she's showing counteract that 100%. And my argument goes out the window. So if they ever come out with a season 2, I might be interested in watching it just to see if they ever reconcile the feelings in real life, you know?
Yeah, no, I get that. I feel like they're moving towards that because of how she is and how she's like kind of interacting and how he's interacting. So they're starting to get on the same wavelength, same page, so to speak.
Okay.
Because in terms of, the emotions that she has for him, she always has that. And I feel like people tend to be a little bit more honest with how they are online versus, let me rephrase it, right?
Okay.
People tend to be more of them true selves, their true selves, when they have that facade, that online facade, where they're able to be more honest about whatever it is that they actually are feeling or thinking. And that's why you have people that are, develop that false sense of superiority or everything like that too, is because they're able to actually vent out whatever it is they're feeling, thinking, and everything like that. And then they also feel more comfortable just spouting whatever it is they actually think or believe at that time. And so for her, Rushian or Hideki, how he was online in terms of how he talked, how he interacted with her, was almost identical to how it was online. So for the two, like personality wise, he didn't really change or anything like that. The one where you saw the real change for it was one of the other characters, Akane or Sagawa, right? Or Schwein, right? She was the one that really kind of changed her whole persona, changed her verbiage, her words, and everything like that to give herself a very particular persona and interaction, so that way she felt more comfortable or was able to portray herself in a very particular way. Whereas of how Hideki was, he was kind of like how he was online in the game and just kind of gave off a very particular air, but that's not how he was. And then Akko, she, because of her difficulty differentiating between fantasy and reality, she called everyone their online persona name. So Rushian for Hideki, Schwein for Sagawa. They called Kyo Master because she's the guild master. So everyone just kind of had this, for her, it was the mentality of perception for it. For her, everything was blended. And she saw Hideki acting almost the exact same way online and in person, because even online, he would keep her in check, push her away or everything like that, or just like be whatever about the whole situation, about whatever it is, versus in person where he was doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, I guess I can see her confusion because his character doesn't change, whereas everyone else's kind of does, for lack of a better way to put it.
Yeah, the only thing that changes, sorry for cutting you off, the only thing that changes for him in terms of mentality and perception is his feelings for her. They start becoming more true to who she is, and he starts developing those more intimate romance feelings for her as time goes on.
I mean, yeah, everything progresses. I'm a big believer in proximity. You attract who you're around. It's one of the reasons why most affairs happen in the office, because you're around them more than your family. So the connections you grow here, they're not more important, but as far as interaction goes, they're on almost the same level. And one of the things that got me was just curious. At any point in time, did you understand Akko's logic to like an unfortunate degree at any point in time in the anime?
Say that again?
Did you relate? Did you understand where she was coming from? Why she was, how she kind of explained her crazy?
Kind of.
Okay. There was one area in particular where she explained her crazy and why she sees herself as a wife rather than an online wife. And unfortunately, I caught myself going, that makes perfect sense. Oh, no. Oh, hell no. And then the characters all had similar reactions, which was awesome.
Yeah. I remember that scene. Yeah.
Yeah. And it makes so much sense because you feel a certain, like if you play a game, like I've played a game for, God, how many years is 1,300 days? So it's almost 4 years. I want to say, because 360, so times 2 times, almost 4, just a little bit over 4 years. And originally I had just a text base, hey, how are you every day with this one person? And it got to the point where I was kind of having feelings towards them, but not boyfriend, girlfriend, but like kinship, like they're my friend. Right. And then it took me a second to take a step back. I'm like, I know them from like 3 sentences a day. The problem is they were the most consistent interaction I was having. I was talking to them more than I talked to my dad. So I had this illusionary attachment to this person. I have no idea who they are, what they look like, what they sound like, what if they're killers, if they're not. Right. No basis except for their reaction with me. And I took a step back and it was like, how? Like I can understand why she had the reaction she had because I almost had that same exact reaction.
Yeah.
So.
And that's not to say that this show is entirely like very deep or thought out or things like that. They have some pretty weird or quirky, funny things that happen in the show. It's just they take a very lighthearted approach to a lot of things that you can almost holistically relate to on some fundamental level in some fashion.
Yeah, the lowest common denominator usually hits people's chords. And the way that she was able to explain that she maintained her status as wife, both online and off, is, let's say, if your spouse is online, or you and your spouse play a game, do you want them to marry somebody else or would you rather them marry you? And then they're all like, well, of course they're going to marry me. Why not? We get the perks together. We're going to do this together. And she goes, well, how come the reverse isn't true?
Yeah. Which is the argument, right? The argument that she uses that everyone's like, yeah, no, that's kind of a scary way of thinking, but I totally understand. Like, it's totally.
I can't argue against it.
Right?
It makes sense, unfortunately, but
it does.
You couldn't argue against it. Scary as that is.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, not wrong. Not wrong in the least bit. But I don't know. I mean, like, I think that's one of the things that really made the show what made the show good, right? Was that style of writing, was the way that they chose to approach topics and points. Now, I'm gonna kind of shy away from the story of the anime a little bit, and I want to talk a little bit about the animation. Because there's one thing that really bugged the living crap out of me throughout the whole thing. And that would be the face smiles. The smiles for Ako and the other women just bugged the living crap out of me. All right. I did not like how they drew their smiles. They were dumb. Drove me up a wall.
Okay. I guess I never I never had that reaction. I didn't have any real issue with them. At the same time, I didn't see there was an issue. Yeah, so I didn't.
They were overly like they drew a U for the smile and only put a bottom lip on it. That was it. For
someone.
Okay.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm talking about.
How often did they do that?
All the way through the show.
All the way through. They did it. They did all of it. It was all done.
All the way through. It wasn't just once or twice. It was every single time it came up. I was like, man, the way they drew that smile just makes me want to punch him in the face.
Okay.
It's just like, I don't know why it bugged me so much, but it did.
Well, if we're going off things that bugged people, this is more of a, why the heck did they put it in there so often? All the gratuitous TNA, all the gratuitous just fan service all day long.
I mean,
like, you don't need to see like a half curve of a butt through the thigh gap. And you're like, sir, I appreciate the attention to detail, but dear Lord, like every other episode felt like every other anime's beach scene.
Well, yeah. Like, I mean, hang on. Don't shortchange this. They had a beach scene. Right?
Oh, they did. They had a beach episode too. They had yeah. And not only did they have a beach scene, they had a scene where they're like oiling themselves up for a tanning, and they're like, "Oh, you need some too." And he's like, "No, I'm good. Thanks." And they're like, "No, you're gonna get this."
Oh yeah.
We're going to throw this lotion all over you. And he was like, my innocence is gone. I didn't need that.
And again,
I didn't need that.
Well, I mean, to be fair, right? This had,
try to be fair.
This anime had the genre ecchi. Animes that are like that are geared towards a very specific set of people. You have to take that into consideration for it. Like it's like it's like watching yaoi, right?
Gotcha.
Right?
I can see.
It's not for us. I can appreciate it for what it is. It's it is what it is. The difference is, I mean, like if you heard this last episode, I already had stated that it was an ecchi. So you had that expectation going into it. There was no hiding, like straight up. You know what you're going to walk into when you walk into this, right? It's not like I'm going to say, oh, this is a comedy romance school shonen anime, right? Where you're going into it not expecting fan service to be galore on here. No, it was specifically called out. Ecchi. There's fan service, 100%. So that for me wasn't a big deal. If they didn't have the ecchi tag in there, if they didn't say that it was an ecchi and they called it shonen, and I watched it, it would have completely thrown it off. It would have made it feel very, kind of an unwelcome surprise. You know,
I got a weird question.
Yeah.
At any point in time, did you assume that this might turn into a harem?
I mean, it's an ecchi, so I knew it would be a harem.
Is it though?
Because
I didn't think they were all over him.
Akane starting to develop feelings for him and be more interactive towards him. And while they have a supporting character, Nanako or Sete, kind of join in later on, and she denies that she has any feelings towards him or anything like that, you could tell that she has not necessarily romantic feelings for him, but developing kind of like a friendship, kinship feelings for him. And then you have Kyo, who's kind of however she is anyways, right? The only one that I feel like if it were to continue on, keep going down that path, you would have Akane or Schwein continue to develop those feelings for him. And then you would have Kyo obviously be put in a situation or a point where she is going to be developing those feelings for him. And then you have Nanako that would inevitably develop those feelings for him.
Do you think in a season 2, if they did a season 2, it would be nothing but the completion of the harem?
If they did a season 2, I feel like they would continue on with the harem. I don't think if they did a season 2, right, and it's only 13 episodes, I don't think they're going to be able to. I take that back. They might magically just like, oh yeah, no, totally. Everyone's totally madly in love with him. Just throw it out there. But I'm just saying, like it may go on a further route. And it's not necessarily that they all have to have romantic feelings, like the, fiery passion in their eyes for him type thing. It's just they have to have, those feelings for him starting to grow, And
Fair enough.
And you can see those feelings for Schwein towards the end of the series, how she's like kind of starts grumbling to herself, talking to herself a little bit, having very particular phrases or interactions with him.
No, I mean, it makes sense. It makes absolute sense why this would even come close to happening. However, I'm not gonna lie, it kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't expecting it. Probably should have been, but
I mean, as CJ says in our chat, 99% of ecchis are harems. They don't need to be all over him to be a harem. Just all have to have, and they do.
Yeah, no, I get it. Doesn't mean I necessarily like it, but I get it. So, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I mean, like honestly, this series, while it was short, it was it gave it a nice, solid. I want to say a satisfying ending, right? Where I'm perfectly happy with the ending that it gave, right? It's an acceptable ending. It's kind of like a soft close. it's something that I don't
Very
need to
soft.
have. It's something that I don't need to have a season 2 for. It's not one of the ones. It's not like one of those shows where they have a slew of unanswered questions halfway through the mystery. It's still unsolved, and a pivotal character just died, and they're like, "All right, well, we're gonna move on. See you later, deuces." Like, oh, I don't know, 75% of the shows that we inevitably watched, and I mean, like, if you want a great example, No Game, No Life. Just saying, like I would
Why you want to hurt my feelings? That's a low blow. That's not even fair.
Hey,
not even fair.
I'm not talking trash.
No, you're not being fair either. No Game, No Life is a gem, and I wish to high heaven.
I'm not saying finally do something negative about it. I'm saying this gave it a nice soft close where I don't need to continue on. I'm saying that this is not a No Game, No Life in terms of endings.
Complete another sidetrack. If you won $10 million, would you put any money of that towards getting a second season?
Not a penny.
Heartless.
I have better things to do with that money.
You only need one. You wouldn't spend $1 million. You wouldn't spend 10% to have the satisfaction, the closer. Because I totally would. Totally. Absolutely. In a heartbeat.
CJ says he would too. So, just he's got your back, he says, No, for me, no. I would not put money towards having it made. I would buy the rights to it so I could then own it, have it made, and reap the money off of it.
So you would make it. It would cost like $1 million total out the door.
No. It would cost a lot more than that.
I mean, it is popular. I'll give you that. But by the time we win millions of dollars,
behind like $100 paywall too.
You know what's really messed up? I'd pay
episode. Per episode.
Oh God, I would not.
It'd be 500 episodes long.
For the whole thing, I would. 500. You're making that money back
quick. But I'm just saying. I would totally capitalize on that bad boy. I would 100%.
Like no bullshit. If you came out with an anime that was about 100 episodes long, and you're like, yeah, it's just $100 to watch it all, I drop that in a heartbeat. Right. In a heartbeat.
Yep. All right.
No question in my mind.
All that being said, I know that this is not going to be one of our longer podcast episodes, probably, more than likely.
True.
But I honestly don't have too much more I could say about this.
The only thing that I could add would be I really enjoyed how evil they made the bad guys, because it wasn't a bad guy that is out of the realm of understanding. It was a bad guy that you could relate to because you've been screwed over, I'm sure, in one game or another by someone who was like, easy win.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
In my opinion, it's like getting teabagged.
Yeah. And it's again, I just reiterate, it's an easily relatable anime. It's easy to watch. It's simple. It's mostly enjoyable simply because it does have those comedic moments in there. There are some things where it just kind of like, but they take a kind of like a step back approach when it came to a lot of the problems and issues that people do face and deal with on a daily basis. And some of them, they're stretched. Some of the interactions or some of the things that happen are stretched a little bit. Ultimately, it's not that bad.
It sounds like you're describing a pizza.
Anyways, so as tradition would dictate, sir, on a scale of up to 10, how would you rate this?
Well, on a scale of up to 10, I would probably go with, I don't want to, but I'm going to have to agree with you. It wasn't fantastic, but it wasn't bad. It's pizza. Everyone loves pizza. Even when it's bad, you love it. But in my opinion, that's also a drawback. So I'm going to, if it wasn't for the fact it was so universal, I would have given it like an 8 or so. But because of the way that it is, my score is going to be a little bit harsher than I feel like it normally would be. So I'm going to give it like a 7 for no other reason than it's just cookie cutter-ish. cookie cutter, feel good. It's not something that stands out to me. It's not something that I'd be like, oh yeah, you should totally watch it. It'd be something along the lines of, you got a slow weekend, you want to feel good, go with this one.
Fair enough, sir. For me, I'm going with a 6. Reason why I'm going with the 6, one, because it is very, like you said, it's very cookie cutterish. I love the take and things that they really hit hard on for this show. Very lighthearted. I did try to watch it once before, and I remembered why I stopped watching it.
All right, why?
Because I had a hard time with it keeping my attention.
Yeah,
and
it definitely has issues there.
It has. So I mean, it's a struggle. It's a struggle for you to actively watch it and keep your attention. At least that's how it was for me. I can't go lower than 6 simply because of all the positive things that I've said about it. I in good conscience can't go lower than a 6, but it was a hard watch. Like I like the take that it has on all the different topics that we previously discussed and everything like that. The animation is, it's all right, but
lackluster. Yeah.
But that's it. That's all. I mean, the music was kind of, when it was there, it was kind of there. That's about it.
Yeah, I was going to say I didn't really notice it, but
all right, okay. And unless, sir, you have something else that you really want to say about this show.
No, I'm good.
That's it. All right. Well, that's all the time that we have for today then. Thanks for hanging out with us. Next week's choice, I mean, I feel like this is going to be another banger for you, Rick. This is going to be top tier. It's How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, season 2.
I mean, I'm good with that.
Yeah,
I'm okay with that one.
So I mean, like, I feel like I foresee a 10 in the future. No, I'm just playing.
I don't know about 10.
How Not to Summon a Demon Lord, season 2. Obviously, we have seen season 1. If you want to hear our original thoughts on that, you could go to our website, featuredanimepodcast.com, where you can go and find all our other shows and things like that out there. But again, thanks for hanging out with us. That's all the time that we have for today. If you want to reach out to us, tell us what we got right, got wrong, or give a recommendation on a show that you would like for us to see, like this one. It is a recommendation by someone named called Lookman. And you can go, again, featuredanimepodcast.com. Or if you want to hear some of the pre and post shows that we usually do for every episode, you can go to patreon.com/featuredanimepodcast. $1 a month will get you access to that bonus content. And we also have exclusive episodes that do come out at least a few times a year that we try. Most recently, Dragon Ball Evolution was what we did. The horror that it was, unfortunately. If you want to buy the show that we were talking about today, we do have an affiliate link for you in the show notes. It'll take you to Bright Stuff Anime. If you use that link, buy anything on the website, we do get a little bit of a kickback. It is very much appreciated if you want to support us like that. Also, if you choose to buy some of our own merch, you can go to shop.featuredanimepodcast.com, buy yourself some swanky swag there. And until next time, I'm Jack.
I'm Rick. And thanks for being part of our online life.